This is Dr. Michael Lam.
And this is Dr. Carrie Lam. We're going to have a question and answer session with Dr. Michael Lam and we're going to talk a lot more about supplementations today. We got some of your questions, so we would just like to answer it. So, Dr. Lam, our first question. I have tried 3 different supplements for adrenal fatigue and I can't tolerate them. I don't know what to do next. How can I resolve this naturally and effectively without wreaking havoc on my system?
Well, the inability to tolerate supplement is first and foremost a warning sign and whisper from your body that something is not right. Now, remember, assuming that your supplements are relatively good and natural supplements goes into the body, and the body has automatic ways to get rid of it through many years of evolution and in our species. Now, if it is something that's foreign to the body, then the body will not want to have it, and so the rejection of these compounds are going to be automatic. Secondly, if the assimilation mechanism is something wrong, for example, you have a wrong receptor site or defective receptor site or damaged receptor sites, then the body can become rejectatory of the items. Thirdly, if you have already a body that is already have this maximum level reached of that particular compound, and you try to force more in, the body will also reject. So the first and most important thing we have to know is not necessarily what to choose in terms of trying to find another compound, because oftentimes when you have sensitivities or intolerance of 1 or 2 or 3 compounds, then the body will react the same towards other supplements as well. And so take this time to really find someone who knows what they're doing, to take a very detailed history, going backwards, forwards, sideways, and really understand the mechanism of how each of these supplements work and find the common pathway. Because once you find the common pathway, then you'll be able to help the body to help it resolve itself. And once you resolve it, then the problem will go away. It's not really the supplement, so to say. A lot of people jump to the conclusion, oh, this is the wrong supplement, this is the right supplement. But what they never have a chance to look is to really follow the body and listen to what the body is saying and try to find what within our own body is problematic. And the good news is that the body has a way to kind of repair itself. And if you find that solution and let the body repair, then not only will you be rewarded with ability to tolerate supplements, but in the long term, the body will also benefit. So it's usually not a permanent problem unless you make it worse. So when you have this type of situation, first thing to do is to stop. Don't use your body to experiment anymore. By the time people come to us, they've already been experimenting. They try one after another, and they don't get better. And they keep thinking it's just the supplements, but actually it's not.
Right. And that kind of relates to our second question where people say that I have tried the supplements and I get better for a little, but then I get worse again right after. Like, why does that happen?
Well, there's several reasons. Again, life is not, unfortunately, not very straightforward. But most commonly we see is that the body either develops tolerance to certain supplementation, and then therefore it kind of plateau out. The result is not as good, or there could be resistance that was developed along the way. And those are the 2 most common. In this particular case, if you use the wrong supplements, that could be leading to either one of them. And that is very, very common. Now, oftentimes what we have to do is to find out in much more detail what supplements, what is the binding, what is the filling, what is the delivery system, what's the frequency, what form, is it a natural form, combination natural form and synthetic form or synthetic form. Sometimes people think, oh, it comes from natural, it must be good. No, not necessarily. Sometimes people say, even water, very simple. I'll give you an example. As you know, there's been a lot of promotion of, alkaline water, higher pH being good. And in fact, it is true to a certain degree in the laboratory. For example, we know that cancer cells, they don't like a pH that is high. However, if you have adrenal fatigue and you have a weak body, you may be one of those few people that actually like to have an acidic body because it helps you to have your body already used to it, or it can help you metabolize a certain way. So everybody is very different.
Right. So it's important to know that sometimes it's not the supplement itself that you might be having an issue with, but that your body is reacting to it in a certain way, and your body is very unique, and so you have to find out why it would be reacting that way.
Yeah, I mean, just take vitamin C. There are over 15 different forms of vitamin C with over 20 different delivery systems, and some are very spiky. Some people like a powder vitamin C that's gassy because there's very high P in nature. But for those people with a sensitive stomach, it may not be the right form. So you can have bad reactions.
Yeah. So that's a good answer to those questions. There's another question here. Is there a chance to get my anxiousness better if I have paradoxical reactions to supplements like magnesium?
This is a rather interesting question, and it's not easy to answer because when you're dealing with mood and emotional ups and downs, these neurotransmitter function driven compounds, chemicals, are very sensitive. Now, the question is asked about magnesium. And I will tell you, for example, most magnesium, whether it's magnesium oxide, magnesium citrate, tend to be nature's muscle relaxants, and they do a good job. Magnesium delivered by spray form transdermally is also relaxing. But out of all of the magnesium forms, the form that is the spray form tend, for reasons we don't really know, have the more propensity of having paradoxical reactions. And that usually has to do with some underlying receptor site problem or detoxification circuit issues within the neuroendometabolic stress response system. So we do see this commonly, and what we do is to take our time to slowly go through and really understand what at the root level is going on. And sometimes, we will have to kind of back down from the different forms that doesn't work and stay with the form that works. And sometimes we will use those forms that doesn't work as a challenge to gauge how the body reacts. So there's many, many approaches. The key, and the people that I coach will know, is that I don't let these small things go because they reflect an underlying bigger problem. So I take the time to really understand what the body is really trying to tell us. And that is the key. Once you learn the whispers of your body, then you will learn what to do.
I like how you talked about the receptor site, and an analogy for that is that your body is like a cup full of water, and all your receptors are basically full. But then you want to put more water in, which is good for you. So that could be any type of supplement that could be good for you, but your body just overflows. And then somehow you have a paradoxical reaction to something that could be good for you. And so just know that maybe it's not the supplement's fault, but you need to get to the root cause of why you're having that reaction.
And it's very common for people to just jump from one to another, or they say, well, magnesium is not for me. But that's not necessarily true. Magnesium is, for example, we use it as an example because it's so common, is ubiquitous. You cannot survive without a high magnesium level in your bloodstream. So obviously it's not the magnesium, it's the way that magnesium is being made, either delivered, bioavailable, processed in your cells.
So we hope you got some of your questions answered today about supplements and about some paradoxical reactions if you're having them. If you have questions that you want to ask Dr. Lam and I, we ask that you go to drlamcoaching.com and you can actually use our Ask the Doctor system and send us a question, whether it's your case study or whether it's just a general question. We're here to answer anything that you have. Within 24 to 48 hours. So we're here to help you, empower you on your health journey. So make sure you share this video and like it, and sign up for some notifications also.